What is going on, everybody? How we doing today? Sure, hope we're doing all right. As usual. Uh, sorry, I'm tired. I'm tired as fuck. I also just took a shower, hence why my hair is wet. But it is Friday, therefore we are going to go ahead and we are going to stream. Yeah, that should be good. I'm probably gonna have to turn this up just a little bit. I'm trying to talk a little bit more quietly than I usually do because I'm not used to this place yet. I want to make sure that I want to make sure the neighbors are not going to be upset if I start talking a little bit louder. Plus, the wall that I'm next to, is right next to my brother-in-law's room. So I'm trying to avoid screaming through the wall or anything like that. But we're gonna continue getting set up. We're gonna continue getting set up. And honestly, I gotta be honest with you here. I'm kind of liking the background. I'm kind of liking the gray background, if I'm being honest with you. Like there's just something about this that I dig. And as much as I liked having the Josie picture up in the background, as well as all the other fish tank and just other stuff that I really liked, as much as I liked having that stuff up in the background, there's a chance that I might decide not to do that in the future. I might decide, fuck it, I'm just gonna have a blank background. Excuse me. Um, so we'll see about that. We'll see about that. Baby, can you close the door? All right, thank you. Um, but yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. We'll see what happens. But um, I want to turn this up just a little bit more. Zachary, you got to turn your volume up if you can, because I'm not going to be talking much louder than this today. I want to make sure. I'm going to mess around with my mic. I'm probably, as much as I hated it, I'm probably going to get one of those arm mics that like goes in front of your fucking face. I've always hated that look a lot of the time. I've always thought it looks like kind of stupid, a little bit wretched, even though wretched isn't really the word to describe it. But the bottom line is I didn't like that, but I think I'm gonna have to give into it. I think I'm gonna have a microphone this far away from my face. That way I can talk this loud and it's not gonna be like stupid. It's not gonna be annoying. But uh regardless, H3 and Hassan just debated for 4 hours. That's about what? Fucking about what? What's there to debate about? Hassan likes Hamas. Ethan likes IDF genocide. They're both shitty. Like I'll be honest with you. If I had to pick a side, if you put a gun to my head, you said you're gonna die if you don't pick one. I'll be honest with you. The good memories that I have of Ethan Klein far outstrip my dislike for what is going on with the Israeli military. I gotta be honest with you, right? I see the two sides of that conflict as pretty much the same fucking thing. It's just that one side has a little bit more institutional power than the other side. The Palestinians would kill us if they had the ability to. It is enshrined in their religion, just like it is enshrined in the IDF's religion, in Israel's official state religion. It is enshrined in both of those religions that they want us all dead. So I don't support either side. It's a situation where it's like, hey, let them fucking blow each other up. I could give a shit. I don't think we should be funding either side, which we are to some degree funding both sides, right? Which is weird. But I mean, hey, weirder things have happened, I guess. Regardless, though, like, take our money out of it and just let them fucking fight it out and whatever, and we can bomb the winner. How about that? Like jokes aside, like it's none of my fucking business. The only interest I have in what is going on over in that area of the world is what's happening to the Christians in that area of the world. The Christians who are caught in the middle of it, who they don't support either side. They're just like, what the fuck, dude? Can we just like exist out here, please? It's disgusting, you know. It's disgusting, but it is what it is. Jordan says I lost the debate. What debate? I haven't debated anyone recently. Um, but yeah, that looks like Smoker's yellow. And then Heath Holloway says I need a light. Yeah, fucking I do. I'm in the middle of a move, right? And if there's one thing I cannot stand, it's when my shit gets touched. It makes me want to start putting holes in walls, dude. I'm the kind of guy here. I'm a very ambitious person, baby. I get a lot done, right?
Yeah, you too.
When I set my mind to something, I do it, right? Yeah. I get really fucking upset when my shit gets touched. Yeah. The reason for that, as I've told you, is that the way my day is and the way my mind works, when I need something, I need it now. So like if I remember I put my flashlight, if I if I if I if I put my flashlight down, now it doesn't want to fuck, it doesn't want to shut off. If I put my flashlight down here and then I go out for the day and then I come home and I'm like, okay, time to use my flashlight, and it's not there, it is like that's killing me. That's killing me a little bit. It's making it so that I cannot do the thing that I absolutely positively need to do right in that moment because I don't have a spare second. I don't have the time to be like, "Oh, but I thought I put it here. Where did I put it? Where did it go? Who moved it? Did the dog touch it? Who moved it? Oh, what happened?" I don't have the time to do that because my day is so jam-packed full of shit, you know? So it frustrates me to no end. And I'm like genuinely like I want to be like, fuck, because the light that I had on Wednesday, the light that I've been using got moved. And I don't know who moved it, why they moved it, but it's like it's just like so fucking frustrating, you know? I needed that thing now so that I wouldn't have piss wall. We in the old apartment, we were in the piss zone. In the new apartment, we have the piss wall. Baby, you okay? You're nodding off. You're nodding off again. My my wife took an edible. Took him. Anyway, but yeah, it's so fucking annoying, dude. It's so fucking annoying. Um, but yeah, sorry, I'm just reading that shit. I'm just reading that shit. Oh, excuse me. Yo, I saw a clip of you on Jay Dyer's channel. Wasn't a great look, big dog. Who's Jay Dyer? I've never heard of him. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, Donald Hughes. Who's that? Um, do you think certain people can be so ambitious it actually cripples them and they never get anything done because they have such high expectations of what they should do? Yeah, for sure. You know, there's some kind of word, there's some kind of thing for that. It's like a choice paralysis or something like that. I don't think that's exactly what it is. I think it's something a little bit different. I think it's a different um I think it's a different phenomenon if you want to call it that. But um, yeah, it's for sure. You know, like that's something that because when I first started watching Sam's stuff, um, I subscribed to his Gumroad. This is like 2017, 2018, somewhere around there. And I was really disappointed because he was only putting out one thing a month. And I explicitly remember him saying that he's such a perfectionist that that's why it takes him so long to get a lot of stuff out. I think that is a symptom of being overly ambitious and a symptom of being a perfectionist towards what you need when you need it and what you're trying to do, you know? Um, and in addition to that, you can be such a perfectionist or you can be so overly ambitious that you you end up in a situation where like you can't work with other people and stuff like that, you know? And that's the if I'm being honest and if I'm being fair, that's kind of what I got going on. Like is that fair to say, baby? Yeah, like I'm so ambitious and I'm so go. I don't trust anybody else to do fucking anything. And because of that, I have to take on every project because I know that I will get it done quickly, efficiently, the right way the first time. There won't be a million fucking questions that need to be answered. There won't be a million little things that go wrong. It's going to be I get from point A to point B. That's it. There's no point A, we're starting out B. And that's what a lot of people do, especially when it's something that is related to you. There's been so many times over even just the last month, let alone my entire life, where it's like I entrust something to somebody and I'm like, hey, you're gonna get this done the right way the first time, right? And they're like, yeah, yeah, no, totally, yeah, dude, when have I ever let you down? And it turns into this like wild fucking goose chase, costs me tons of money, costs me tons of time, stresses me out like a motherfucker. And it's a situation where if I didn't delegate a task to them because they were offering to help me, whether it was because they were being nice or if there was an ulterior motive, if I had just done it myself, I would not have had all those issues, you know? A lot of people, they'll offer you help not because they actually want to be helped, but because they want to feel like they're help, you know? And you'd be surprised how many people are actually like that. The kinds of people where like um the kinds of people who are like, no, no, I got it, dude, I got it, relax, man, relax, dude, I got this, I know a guy, all right, I know a guy. Like those kinds of people, the kinds of people who want to feel like you think they're really cool or badass or resourceful or anything else, right? I've had so many situations with people like that, and that's part of the reason why I don't trust anyone with anything, because there's so many people that are out there like who are like that, you know? A great example of that is back when I was like a weed smoker. I don't even think I was actually a weed smoker at this time. I was just dating a girl who was. Um, this is a girl who I got into smoking weed. Like she was like not a weed smoker before she started dating me, and then all of a sudden all of her friends are weed smokers now because they're hanging around with me. I was a very good influence when I was younger. I was the best influence when I was younger. But um like I introduced them to a ton of different contacts, you know, just people who have weed, right? And one day, out of nowhere, I hop into the friend of my girlfriend's car, right? So this isn't even my girlfriend. This is a friend of hers, right? And this friend of hers is one of those people who wants to feel like a badass, who wants to feel like they're resourceful, you know? Like that guy in the movie who's like, I know a guy. It's all right. Hey, I know a guy. Let's leave it at that. You know, that kind of person. I hop into a car. She starts driving off. I'm like, where are we going? She's like, ah, don't worry about it. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? She's like, don't worry about it. That's all right. Don't worry about it. I'm like, fucking, all right. That's pretty weird. We pull into this driveway. I don't recognize this place. I'm just like, what the fuck? I'm like, what is this? What are we doing here? She's like, don't worry about it. Relax. Relax. And I'm just sitting here like, all right, I don't like this. Not because I'm actually feeling like I'm in danger right now, but because this is just annoying that somebody is taking me somewhere and they're like, hey, relax, relax. You don't need to know. You don't need to know. I know. That's enough. Um, all of a sudden, this car pulls in behind us, high beams on in the driveway. I'm the only guy in the fucking car. It's me, my girlfriend's friend who is driving, and another friend of hers in the passenger seat. So it's not exactly like we're fucking. It's not like we're ready to go here. But I mean, hey, what else am I gonna do? I start panicking. I'm like, oh fucking shit. I start unbuckling my belt. I put my fucking hand on the door, right, ready to open and hop out and try and ambush whoever is there because I think we're getting robbed at this point. As I'm doing that, who walks up? A guy that I fucking introduced her to. She would not know this guy if it was not for me introducing her, but she wanted to feel like she had the connect. Yeah, hey, I know a guy. I know a guy. I know a guy. Hey, I know a guy. Leave it at that. He's my guy. He's my guy. Hey, he only goes through me. He only goes through me. All right, you ain't gotta know him. You ain't gotta know him. He's my guy. I got the connect. I got the plug. I got the connect. And it's like I introduced you to this guy, and I almost just tried to fucking take his eye out. You know, I'm thinking you brought us into a situation because you're an idiot female, where we're gonna get robbed, and I almost seriously injure a guy that I'm cool with that you wouldn't know if it wasn't for me being cool with that guy. You know, like those kinds of people are the exact kinds of people I try to avoid, and that's why I try my best. That's why I try my best to avoid delegating tasks to people. And it's stressful as shit, dude. I am always doing something all the fucking time, no matter what. And it's impossible to get anybody else to understand because most people either don't have the IQ or they are too fucking lazy to understand what ambition really is. They just simply do not understand what it means to have your time actually matter. Fucking most people are just punching the clock at work and then they're hanging out with their boys after. They're working on their car. They're playing video games. They're fucking I don't know, doing woodwork or smoking weed or drinking booze or whatever, right? Like, and if you got a hobby, that's all good. Like, that's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. But like, there's a difference between I have a hobby because I'm basically just waiting to die, and I have a hobby because I really want to be good at something and I want to maximize the generativeness that I am able to have in my life. I want to be able to do something that is going to add to the world, and then who knows, maybe one day make that into something that I can quit my job over. You know, people do not understand that. And it's the worst when you have to be around people who are like that. It's so frustrating, you know. And man, you know, boxing tonight, Kentucky Derby, Dewberry this weekend. I don't like the Kentucky Derby. Seems like a female thing. I got to be honest with you. Like the last time I saw anything about the Kentucky Derby, it was like a bunch of white women who want to try and act like it's all about them. You know, it's like, oh, here's what I wore to the Kentucky Derby. It's like, you don't give a fuck about horses. You don't give a fuck about racing. You don't give a fuck about horse racing. You don't give a fuck about betting. You don't care about any of that. It's just an excuse for you to be like, look at me, you know. So it's like that's gross to me. That's fucking gross to me, you know. Um, boxing tonight, yeah, and I hear Devin Haney sucked. The not him specifically, but the fight sucked. Which, surprise, surprise, what have I been saying about combat sports for a long ass time now? Most men die at 27. We just bury them at 72. Yes, exactly. You know, there's this is Mark Twain speaking through Heath Holloway. There was another quote that I saw somewhere. I forget who said it, but uh, the average male existence is like quiet desperation, or the average male exists in a state of quiet desperation. And it's really your decision whether you want that quiet desperation to be, oh, my life sucks, I have no control, I go to work and get shit on by my boss, I go home and get shit on by my wife, my kids don't even care about me, oh man, oh. It's your choice whether you want it to be that, or like, fuck, I need to get this task done because if I don't get it done, I'm fucked, you know. Like, I talk about every now and again how my life has become something that I didn't want it to become, right? I am doing way too much for too many different people, and it is very frustrating, and I don't have a lot of time to dedicate to trying to take care of myself. Hence why I'm overweight as shit. You know, and it's only getting worse lately because I've reached a point where I'm like, hey, I just got to get to the summer, man. Anything I can do to get to the summer, I'm going to do. And that includes eating mad junk food during the week. So I'm not even trying to like cut down on junk food during the week anymore, you know? So I'm only getting fatter, literally, you know? Um, but like, even with that, the prospects that I have in my life are still a lot better than somebody else who is working like a better job than mine, you know, who is in a different situation to me, because at the very least I don't have any debt and I can start a business, which I'm in the middle of trying to do now. I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to open a gym of my own, and then I also have my own little program going on at the gym that I run now, that I train out of now. And when I say train out of, I mean train other people out of, you know, honestly. But you get the idea, though. You get the idea. You know, there's a difference between depression because life sucks, and stress because there's so many things that you're doing with your life, you know. And I have the second one. One 100 blacks versus one word. Huh. That's a strange one. Yeah, yeah, that was something that Jay Dyer's the dude who graduated a Crayon College Sans thesis requirement. Yeah, I'd never heard of him before now. I'd never heard of him before now. I don't know why someone would accuse me of ever having spoken to someone like that. That's weird. That's weird. But um whoa WH says I want Scott to think I'm cool. I do think you're cool, man. I do think you're cool. You're one cool cat. Um hey, what about that lady that said the N-word to a kid? Um I don't condone public freakouts of any kind. I understand that they happen sometimes, right? I don't think it's a good use of your time or energy to be yelling racial slurs at people, regardless of who you are, what race, what religion, what creed you are. And while I don't condone it, I can't say that I don't 100% understand why something like that could happen. Somebody gets defensive of their property, of their children, especially when their children are around, and they will go to any and all lengths to either fight or to, at the very least, try to scare somebody away. And the unfortunate reality is there's a lot of people out there who think that they can just let their kids do whatever the hell they feel like all the time. I saw it at my old place. Literally, it happened in one of my streams. Fucking, there was a kid, he knocked on my window because in my old place, I was living on the first floor. And literally in the middle of the stream, somebody knocks on the window, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? I get up, I walk over, open up the window. It's this fucking little kid. I'm like, "Oh, hey, bud, don't do that again." And then the next day, I go and I talk to his mom. I'm like, "Hey, I'm not mad or anything, but the little guy knocked on my window yesterday," and she's like, "Oh, sorry, he's autistic." Like so many people, and in fact, this does kind of relate to the situation, because to my understanding he was an autistic child. But like, so many parents think that like having an autistic child means having a free range child. It's like fucking insane the way they'll let children and even adults who have like severe mental handicaps and things like that. And I don't even know how severe this specific child's handicap was in the situation that you guys are talking about. But like, regardless, like, people will let children with severe deficiencies and handicaps and things like that just fucking roam around like free range chickens. It's insane. And they'll do shit like that. And when someone's like, "Yo, you want to control your kid?" They're like, "The fuck you mean? He just like everybody else." It's like they get real defensive about it, you know? But like, so like, I can understand a certain amount of anger when you have a child who, like, it's very clear they should be kept extremely close to an authority figure at all times, as all children should. But like, especially an autistic child like that should be kept extremely close to an authority figure at all times, and should not just be allowed to wander and fucking touch and do whatever the fuck they feel like. I can understand the frustration, even though I don't condone what was said and how it was said and everything like that. And then on top of that, of course, like, there's a group of people who have been underrepresented for a long time at best. And if not, then they have been unrepresented for a long time. And that group is a group of people who have been gaslit, and who everybody else has been, I guess you could say, gaslit into believing is some kind of powerful, predatory, um, malevolent group, right? So because of that, there's been a lot of attacks. There's been a lot of uh, persecution of that group. And what's going to happen when something like that goes down? Well, that group is either A, going to die, or B, they're going to fight. And, well, I think in this case, people are starting to fight. I think they're at a point where they're just like, no, fuck it, I don't care anymore. You've called me names. You've called me all of these things for so long. I'm tired of it. Uh, I don't feel like, I don't feel like putting up with that anymore. You know, like I'm trying to be as careful about this as possible, right? Because like at the end of the day, I don't think it's a good thing to be running around yelling slurs in public regardless of what the situation is. And I personally never have done something like that. Never, not once. Never, not once, never ever, especially not earlier today when somebody almost crashed into my fucking wife and I. Never. Not once, ever. Never. Unless it's one of the approved slurs, like Italians, you can make fun of Italians. So, you know, haha, call them wops, haha, haha. Fucking, well, jokes aside, um, I don't condone, like, running around yelling racial slurs at people, regardless of the situation. I don't think that's a good thing to do no matter what. But I also don't want to make it sound like I'm like, no, that was not okay, and she's a piece of shit, and blah, 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 blah. No, I understand without condoning. I understand is what I'm saying. This is a woman who was with her children. Apparently, she was being victimized by somebody. And even if it is a child with a mental disability, that just means that the responsibility is transferred onto the parents. Um, and at the end of the day, it's a situation where you got to do something. Like, people are not just gonna watch as people take directly from their bag. People are not just gonna watch as people try to victimize them in public. People are not just gonna like sit there and die. And that is the unfortunate reality of what people did for a long time, is they just kind of sat there and watched while they were killed, you know? And that is starting to not be the move, I guess. That's starting to not, people there's certain groups of people that are starting to get to a point where they're just like, you know what, I don't care, because these people want me dead. So I'm not going to care about what they think or how they feel or what they believe, including about me. I'm not going to care if they don't like me. Of course they're not going to like me. They want to kill me. They want me dead. Of course they don't like me. We've already established this. And when I try and stop them from killing me, when I do what anyone would do, which is simply try to stick up for my right to live, they're going to be mad about it, right? And in their mind, they're going to act like I'm just supposed to be like, oh my gosh, you want to kill me? You want to steal from me? Okay, I guess go ahead. They're going to act like that, you know? So these people who are the victims, they're eventually going to be like, no, I'm not going to let that happen, you know? You can't expect people to just lay down and die because you want them dead. Is the fact of the matter. That is what matters at the end of the day. And this is a problem that the right wing had for a long time, and this is another reason why debates are bullshit. I don't know who this Jay Dyer guy is. He sounds like an interesting fellow. But if I was to get into an argument with somebody about whether debates were good or bad, that's another reason why debates are bad, is because a lot of the time people are arguing with their enemy, an enemy that will never be placated, an enemy who will never listen to reason or anything like that. And people will sit there and be like, well, it's not about the enemy, it's about the people who are listening. The people who are listening that are on your side are going to continue to be on your side. The people who are listening that are on their side are going to continue to be on their side. Anybody in the middle is a mental midget. They are a midwit at best, and they treat your rights and your life as though it's a sport. They treat it like a sport. They don't have any real morals or values or principles. They don't their morals, values and principles are only as good as the last debate. That's it. It completely and totally resets at the beginning of the next debate, whether it's a debate between you and somebody else, whether it's a debate between two completely different people. None of it matters. None of it matters. Those people don't matter. They're not the kinds of people you even want on your side. They are what communists call the lumpen proletariat, right? Which is basically to say that they're proles, but they're fucking idiots, and they're not even worth trying to have around, you know. Um, but even beyond that, a lot of the time people argue as a means to try and affirm themselves, to try and say, hey, I have a right to life and you can't take that away from me. And what did that do to protect anybody over the last however many years, specifically the last 10 years, when we really saw the culture war start to ramp up? What did that do to protect anybody for the last 10 years? It didn't do anything to protect anybody. What it did was it got Kekistan. Debating gave rise to Kekistan. Haha, Chatelet. 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 Dude, based Kekerino. That's 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 what debating gave rise to over the last decade. It gave rise to every stupid ass meme. It gave rise to every maladaptive pattern in the minds of young men and some young women. It gave rise to cults of personality that some people rode into the ground and other people jumped ship from and started absolutely positively hating the very second they said something that deviated from the accepted narrative of the individual who decided to jump ship. That's what debating gave us. And it's a situation where if you're arguing with somebody to actually like tie this back into what I was trying to talk about, when you're arguing with somebody who hates you and wants you to die as a means to try and make it so that they can't kill you, so that they aren't allowed to hate you, or so that they just hate you a little less, it's not going to work. Stop trying to look for approval. Stop trying to look for the consent of the people who hate you. Stop looking for the people who have a knife to your throat. Stop looking to them and asking for consent to be able to survive. There's a leftist slogan that I saw on a sticker once. I'm pretty sure I have that sticker laying around somewhere, but I forget where I put it. You know, like I said, my room is a mess right now. I haven't set it up, but it is respect my existence or expect my resistance. That is, it's a leftist slogan, rolls off the tongue pretty well. It is a little bit Reddit, if we're being honest here, but it's a perfect way to describe the attitude that you're supposed to have. There's no respect my existence, please. Here's 10 facts that you need to know about my existence. Here's some statistics about my existence that you need to know about. Will you please respect them after I give you a 12 paragraph essay about how important it is to respect my existence? Will you please respect it, please? That's not gonna work on them. It's a fool's errand to believe that you're gonna convince somebody like that. It needs to be respect my existence or expect my resistance. Finite. Matter of fact. This is what it is. It's not changing for shit. Fuck off. If you don't like that, well, we're going to fight you. I don't mean physically. We're just going to resist. We're going to push back against any bullshit that you try and push our way. And it's not going to be pushed back by being like, oh, well, I'll see you on the 17th. We're going to have a 4-hour debate. No, it's not that. It's, hey, like, I'm going to pass a law. I'm going to apply pressure to this company until they take that thing that you like away or add the thing that I like. I'm gonna call into their office. I'm gonna say, hey, you need to add this, you need to add this, you need to take this thing away. Hey, did you know you're platforming this? Did you know you're actually tacitly agreeing with that? Like, politics is not debating. Politics is a power game, and you need to be able to exert force, not like physical force, but the force of just the force of a mass, the force of a mass of people. You need to be able to exert that onto whatever it is that you want to control, you know? Like I said, that's not a physical force. I mean, the power of being able to call into places and apply pressure via, hey, I'm not going to shop at your business until you fire this guy. The ability to say, I don't give a fuck what stats you have. I don't give a fuck what you think, what you care about. I'm doing me, and I'm going to make sure you're doing me too, right? Like, I'm kind of all over the place right now. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of distracted. I'm hearing a lot of noise like everywhere. I don't think you guys can hear it. It sounds like people are fucking slamming things around, which I'm so high strung lately. Again, it's making me want to put holes in the wall, you know? It's fucking, I'm just absolutely fucked up. But the bottom line, right? If I could take the last 5 to 10 minutes of what I was talking about and sum it up, I would say that I don't condone what that woman did, even if she was being victimized by that person or even the person's parents or anything like that. Okay. I think it's funny that apparently the guy who got her on video was like a Somali pedo or something like that. That's just what I heard. I don't know that for certain, but that's what I've heard. I think that was funny in a really fucked up and weird way, but like there was almost like a whoa kind of thing about that. Um, I don't condone what she did, but I can understand that she was frustrated, and that frustration led her to say things that she otherwise would not have said, whether she meant it or if she was just angry and she was saying some shit in the moment. I think that what is happening is there are certain people out there who are seeing which way the wind is blowing, especially with, say, like the Austin Metcalf thing, where the fucking whatever his name is, fucking Charmander, whatever his dumbass name was, he got paid over $500,000 for murdering a white child. Which, by the way, you shouldn't call them kids. You should call them children, and I'll explain that in a second. Like, there's people who are seeing that kind of thing, and they're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I don't care anymore. And they're, it's like I said, they could give a fuck. They just don't care. They just don't. They don't care anymore. You know. Um, and then to sum up the debates thing, like, this is why you can't debate with people, because debating doesn't actually do anything, because you can debate with an enemy, but that enemy is not going to come over to your side, and anybody who is interested in that debate is already going to come with a side. And if they don't come with a side, then it's simply because they are interested in debating as a sport. They don't actually have any real beliefs. It's all just who was the better debater that time. And being a good debater does not mean you are correct about anything. In fact, being a good debater often means that you're incorrect about a lot of things, because if you are good at debating, that means you're probably not going to be using stats and opinions. You're going to be using strategies and things like that. I'm not saying you can't use those things in tandem, in conjunction with each other. I'm just saying that, especially with these online debates, you don't tend to see people using uh, using the same kind of format as, say, like a presidential debate. It's usually just a fucking argument, the kind of argument you got into with that kid in the neighborhood who was a piece of shit, who, like, you're relatively sure could have been some kind of like weird like sociopath, or like the kind of debate, the kind of, not even calling it a debate, the kind of argument you get into with your mom where you're like, look, mom, I'm 14 years old. There's no reason I can't walk to the store by myself. And she's like, no, I said no. So that's it. Shut up. That kind of like that's what those are. That's what those online debates are, is just two grown men having one of those kinds of arguments. So those are pointless. But then in addition to that, a lot of people don't realize what they're doing is they're trying to ask their enemy for permission to be themselves. They're trying to ask their enemy for permission to exist, and you cannot do that. You have to have that respect my existence, or you see, I already forgot what it was called. You have to have that fuck off, respect my existence or expect my resistance kind of attitude. You have to have that attitude, because your enemy is not going to respect anything less. If you ask your enemy for permission, your enemy's always going to say no. because they're your fucking enemy and they don't like you and they don't want you to have good things. They don't want you to be in a good place in your life. They don't want you to be happy. They don't want you to even be alive. So stop trying to debate with enemies because it's a net zero. It's a net zero, you know? Um, Now, I mentioned something, right? I mentioned something. This is something that has bugged me for a long time. Linguistics. The right needs to get very, very good at linguistics. Linguistic propaganda specifically. Okay? When I was keeping an eye on all those street fights and stuff like that, right? I followed a couple of different groups around, not like physically, but I'd keep an eye on different groups. There was Patriot Prayer in the Pacific Northwest. There was a group or two around here in Massachusetts, the Boston area that I don't even know what the fuck happened to them. I don't think they ever really got down like that. I don't think they ever got into fights like that. But I don't know. Maybe I just didn't see them. There was also the Proud Boys, obviously, right? I would see things happen where like people would get into fights and stuff like that. And after every fight, there would be some kind of press release, whether it was official or unofficial, whether it was like leader of the Proud Boys, Gavin McInnes, or whatever the other guy was, whatever the other guy's name was. I forget what his name was. Leader of the Proud Boys, or the guy from Patriot Prayer. There was like one guy who was the face there, or I also forget his name. Whether it was a situation like that, or if it was like the Proud Boys Facebook page put something out, it would always be like, hey, we went to this place on this day and we fucked up some Antifa. Ha ha, we got them motherfuckers. Fuck commies. Fuck commies. Ha ha ha. Kill a commie for mommy. Ha ha ha. Right? They'd be like that. That is the absolute worst thing that you could do on multiple different levels, right? The best write-up that I have ever seen for a situation where there was a fight at a protest was an Irish one. And this is not just Irish weeb shit. This is an understanding of how Irish society operated in terms of politics for a long time. The Irish don't just see themselves, at least a lot of them, right? A lot of them. The Irish don't just see themselves as citizens who feel like they're defending well, not the government, but the republic, citizens fighting for the republic. Haha, yeah. They see themselves as the republic, and as such, they're going to speak that way. And when I saw this write-up for what ended up being a bunch of Irish people beating the fuck out of some Antifa, it didn't read like, we went there and we fucked them up. It didn't read like it was like a fucking pro wrestling shoot interview or anything like that. Not shoot interview, a pro wrestling interview or anything like that. Promo, a pro wrestling promo. It didn't read like it was a pro wrestling promo. It was very, very dignified. They said on August 23rd, a group of concerned Irish citizens showed up to the park where they held a rally for Ireland. Right, I'm trying to make it up on the fly, but basically, the wording they used was a lot different. As to where instead of saying we beat the hell out of some commies, they said, while we were peacefully assembling in public as we have the right to do, a group of agitators showed up in an attempt to try and hurt people, including the families and women and children that were there. They were asked to leave, and when they did not leave, they were removed by security. And like that just that way of putting things, right? I wish I could pull this up. I don't even remember where I saw it. I just remember seeing it and being like, wow, those guys know exactly what the fuck they're doing. They know exactly what the fuck they're doing. I saw a video of the incident that I was just kind of describing, and they beat the shit out of those Antifa. It wasn't like, hey, you guys need to leave. Okay, that's it. I'm going to take you by the shoulder and I'm going to guide you out. It was like, no, beat the piss out of them, drag them out, right? Linguistic propaganda is everything. If you read their write up versus a Proud Boy write up, you would see the Proud Boys are like, and we're gonna beat the hell out of them tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. And it's like, of course, any police agency, whether it's local or federal, is gonna have the ability and the interest to take them down. Of course they're going to do that. These guys are literally they're literally admitting to crimes in their Facebook pages and things like that. They're admitting to crimes that they're committing in their Facebook page. Meanwhile, again, these Irish nationalists who are like, wow, I'm sick of all this like far left bullshit. I'm tired of my country being swarmed by evil people. They are absolutely positively handing asses to people. They are handing asses to people left and right. And when they go to write about it, they're writing it in a way that basically implies, hey, we showed up to have a peaceful protest. People other than us showed up to try and quite literally do harm to us. We asked them to leave, they didn't. So we had to physically remove them. And then the rally went on, and everything was all good after that. Linguistic propaganda is everything, okay? It's a lot easier, even if there's video of the situation, it's a lot easier to point to something like that and use that as evidence in court if you're a defense attorney than it is to use, and we're the Proud Boys, the West is the best, we're gonna get those Antifa tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day. Like, fuck. I got a migraine yesterday, so my head hurts. It matters. It matters so much, right? Another situation, right? What you know about 764? Not a lot, and I'd like to keep it that way. I know enough about them to know that I don't want to know anything about them. I'll say that much, Heath Holloway. Gavin McInnes started Proud Boys, didn't he? Yes, you know. But yeah, anywho. Now, to further expand upon this, right? Because I know I talked a lot about one specific instance where linguistic propaganda matters. Okay. Another example is in the way that you hear a lot of people talk about race relations and things like that. Whenever a black dude is killed, it's unless it's like a 40-something-year-old man who's like his hairline has receded more than mine has, and he's got more wrinkles than I do, and he's got a bigger beard than mine. It's always black child, or black man, right? Something that is either infantilizing in a way that makes you feel bad, or something that is dignified in a way that makes you feel like somebody probably attacked a black guy because you know, walking while black or something like that, right? That is a very very purposeful designation. That's a very purposeful distinction that the news as well as the black community makes. Now, you notice when they talk about white people, it's never white man, it's always white boy. White boy, you're a boy. You're a boy. You're little. You're small, you're naive. There's something that they have that you don't, and that thing makes them better. You're a boy, white boy. For one thing, you shouldn't, I'm not saying you should fight people over that, but that's something that I personally would push back against. Like, I'm not always being called white boy. People are usually afraid of me. Like, people like, I'm an intimidating presence, you know? People usually aren't starting with me. They usually are not, you know? But like, regardless, right? Whenever I get called a white boy, I push back against that because I know what's happening and I know what they're trying to do. And it's become something that is so ingrained in our culture that people, even positive things like white boy summer, it's like, well, boy, white boy summer. No, fuck that, you know? Fucking, but like regardless, that's not even what I want to talk about. Whenever a white child is killed, it's never white child. It's always white kid. White kid, white boy. Kid and boy, two things that either denote some kind of impersonalness, because the word kid People say the word kid in a bunch of different ways. They say it in like a derogatory way sometimes, like "fuck off, kid," like that. We do that in the Northeast, in New York, Boston. That's especially a Boston thing. It's like, fuck you, kid. Get out of here, kid. What the fuck's your problem, huh? Like we talk to each other like that. Um, Calling somebody white kid, somebody saying the headline "white kid murdered" is specifically tailored to make you feel like that child who died is either less human or they're less of a child. Meanwhile, when you see a black kid die, it's always black child, black child, black child, black child. The kid will be like 20 years old. They'll have a pair of grills. It'll look like Trayvon Martin's most recent picture before he got shot. And fucking, they'll be like, he's a black child, black baby shot. They shooting our black babies, you know. Um, these are important things, and like I'm talking, this is something that like when I start doing podcasts again, I'm gonna see if I can start getting into the podcast again this summer. When I start doing that again, this is really a topic that deserves its own podcast where I think it through and I talk about it from start to finish. So like I apologize that I'm probably a little all over the place right now. I don't mean to be that way. But it's an incredibly important thing, right? It's an incredibly important thing having the ability to understand and to counter these small linguistic pieces, because words are magic spells to a degree. Words are magic spells to a degree, and that's why they call us white boys. That's why if you call them fucking black boy, which that's like a that doesn't quite roll off the tongue, but if you called him boy, if you were like, "Hey boy," that'd be a huge fucking thing. That'd be like, forget about it, you know? Um, that's why when like some fucking 18, 19, 20-year old kid dies, it's always unarmed black child. It's always that. Meanwhile, it could be a 10-year-old, it could be a 10-year-old child, 10-year-old white child, and it's white kid dies. It's always something like that, you know? It's important. And if it wasn't important, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't make that distinction. And in fact, I'm just curious. El Goog. El Goog. 17-year-old boy. That's Austin Metcalf. Jeez. That's pretty crazy. I'm realizing that it's probably like I was gonna be like, I wonder what happens when you type them in, because people do that kind of thing sometimes, but I'm realizing that that's not even a good idea, because I mean, look at this, right? I mean, this isn't even a white kid. Fucking, and then it also says 10-year-old boy, and then of course this is the Austin Metcalf thing. So really it's I don't even know what I was going for there. I was gonna type in white kid dies and then black child dies and see what happens. I don't even know what I was doing there. Regardless, what what a Google search. I know. Fucking, I just wanted to see what would happen, and I realized immediately. I was like, it's just gonna be all Austin Metcalf. It's just gonna be all Austin Metcalf. Okay, well. When Shiloh Hendricks raises money, more money than Carmelo, there's going to be riots in the streets. Yeah, and I'm wondering how these riots will go down. I'm wondering how these riots will end up going down. I'm curious about that. Sorry, I'm just looking around at what I missed. Lakime says there's no point in debating to the dead. I don't quite know what you mean by that. I don't quite know what you mean by that, man. But yeah, it's like I said, that topic right there. Um, did you ever explain the change in scenery? What do you mean? I've explained it. I've only streamed twice, and I've explained it both times. Hi, Ecuador. You need to get the shit out your ears. You need to get the shit out your ears, kid. But yeah, it's like I said, that is something that I would be better off having a podcast episode on, one where I can talk about this topic from start to finish, because this is a start to finish kind of topic. And when you're not constantly worried about your next debate, you can actually sit down and think about this shit and understand the way that these guys operate, the tactics they utilize, why and how they use them, and how you can try your best to fight back against them. That's actually what's going to fucking move the needle. You know, that is what actually is going to help you. Not sitting on the internet trying to improve your e-boy career, you know? I've actually done stuff to move the needle. You guys have seen the fruits of my labor. I've 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 alluded to this a few times over the years. It's something that I don't talk about all the time because, frankly, it's not something that I want attached to my public persona. But I've been able to move the needle in a way that you guys know about, that you have seen. You may not realize that that was me and my boys, but it was me. And I didn't do that by arguing with leftists or arguing with Muslims or arguing with other fucking Catholics or Protestants or Orthodox or whatever. I did that by thinking, hey, what actually helps in doing that? You know, it's just fucking, it's just weird. You know, are we still talking about Jay? Who's Jay? I don't know who Jay is. Nailed. Nalde. Charlottesville? No, 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 not not quite, not quite. Oh man, I fuck I this my phone case is fucked. I don't like. I gotta get a new one, but also I'm like about to get a new phone too, so I'm like, oh well, why would I get a new phone case? Scott, supreme, cool, observant, trendy, talented. Thank you very much, Zachary. That's what I'm. If if I ever meet Bert, if I ever meet Bert, that's what I'm gonna call myself. I'm gonna say my name's Scott, supreme, cool, observant, trendy, talented. Crazy response, but okay. Crazy response to what? I'm assuming he moved rooms so he doesn't have to wake his wife every time. My wife is across the room from me right now. She is fast asleep along with my dog. Her and my dog are sleeping on my bed right now. Um, we moved apartments. We moved apartments because we were tired of living around such a racially homogenous area. We needed more diversity, is what it is. We were living in a racially homogenous area, and we needed a little bit more diversity in our lives. So we decided to move out of the area that we were in, and we moved into a more diverse area. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, I want to grab a soda. I'll be right there. Don't you worry, you pretty little heads. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I'm so fucking sore because of the move, dude. There's there's nothing worse than a week long move when you have to work. Anytime I've ever had to move, I've never had to work like for a little while, you know. La- not last year, but a year, a little bit under 2 years ago, we moved apartments, and it was when I was a little under 2 years ago we moved apartments. This is now the third apartment that I've had since I've had my channel. Um, we moved apartments, and it was at a time where I wasn't working, right? Because I take the summers off because work slows down drastically in my job. Um, and oh, yeah, so we just we just moved our shit, and that was that. But this time we had to move our shit on a Sunday and then go to work Monday, and then move more of our shit from Monday to yesterday, which was the first. Excuse me. Did you see the Apple commercial with the guy who sold the Apple stock? No, no, I haven't, Heath Holloway. What's that about? You can move into my basement, Scott. Don't worry, I got you if it comes down to it. I appreciate that, Joe Butt Slasher. I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Yeah. Huh? Oh, honestly, I have a feeling. I have a weird feeling that like there's a lot of people who are not renting right now. Meaning, like if you have a rental property, you're probably fucked. I have a weird feel about that, and I'm wondering if Nick Rochefort can back me up on that. Because literally every single place we applied to, we applied to like 7 or 8 places. Every single one of them said yes within 24 to 48 hours. And there was one place where we were able to get them to take $500 off the rent. They wanted 3,000 for a 2 bedroom, 1 bath, which is fucking stupid. No matter what, that's so fucking stupid. But there were some things that kind of sweetened the pot for us, but we weren't going to be able to do 3,000. So we said, we could do like 23, maybe 24. They kicked it down to 26.50 for us. And then we were like, oh, well, that's still too much. I mean, the most we were thinking we could do was like 500. So we tell them, yeah, I mean, the most we could do is like 500. We could do 500 if you're okay with that. And they tried to be like, oh yeah, we can do 2,500, but we're also gonna need $100 pet rent. And I was straight up like, oh, well, I mean, it's just not going to work out. Sorry. And the guy was like, no, wait, I'll talk to the landlord. Maybe he'll take the pet rent off. They took the pet rent off. And then I told them, like, we have a place that we're going with. We chose a place that we're going to be going with. And he was like, oh, but are you sure? Like there were places practically begging us to move in. And it's not like we're special. Like I have 2 jobs. My wife works, my brother-in-law works. Like I guess that's good. And we have good credit scores and we have good rental records and things like that. But like it's not like we're fucking that special or anything like that. So it's like I'm wondering what the fucking deal is. I'm wondering what the deal is. 10 years of fixed mortgage left than pure income for many. Um, Nick says multifamily houses as rentals are dying. Anyone who locked in 20 years ago is doing just fine though. 10 years of fixed mortgage left than pure income for many. Well, yeah, I mean, you could say that about anybody. Like you're 2/3 of the way through your fucking your mortgage. Like yeah, like that's anybody who's 2/3 of the way through their mortgage is gonna be doing a lot better. Obviously. Um, yeah, fucking. But I get it. I get it. Um, Living in Mass is fucked. I just buy shit homes and charge everyone up the cooler for it. Yeah, because you can do that. You can fucking do that. Like this guy was trying to charge $3,000 for a 2 bed, 2 full bath, right? But the thing is, it was in a building that was built in like the 1920s or something like that, and it still looked it. you could tell it was like kind of a big house slash like maybe it was even supposed to be like a mansion or something like that back then. Um, and you can tell that there's like literally there's like little archways, little walkways, and things like that where like they just boarded them up, you know, like they just threw boards on them and shit like that. The kitchen was mad small. The stove was at least from the 1950s. I shit you not. Like I wish I had a picture of the stove to show you guys. I as soon as I saw the stove, I was like, I don't want this place. Two bed, two full bath, really nice. I don't hate the amount of space we get, and it's two-story. You know, there's an upstairs and a downstairs. That's pretty cool, I suppose. I don't want a stove like that though. I feel like that's a fire hazard. I don't want to try and light up the stove and then one day, you know? Fucking no thank you. You know, no thank you on that one. Trying to find some wood to knock on, you know? There's literally no there's no wood. There's no wood around me. Don't worry, I see some though. I see some. I am uh I am a little bit nervous about pissing off my neighbors because no matter where you live, there's always going to be problems. Uh, I'd rather have the problems that I think I'm going to face in this place though than the problems that I face in the other place. But the issue is the problems that you face in a place like this is the kinds of problems that get you fined money by the HOA. And it's the kinds of problems that get you kicked out by your landlord because you're making too much noise and things like that, as opposed to the problems at the last place where it's like I never had anybody snitch on me for anything. I never had anybody do anything that was like, oh man, I'm gonna get kicked out. But I did have people who were like, hey yo, I'ma fuck you up, you know? So it's like I'd rather have to talk somebody down from being mad about like me dropping something than I would have to fight somebody, you know? Um, Scott's terrified of glass stoves. Amazing. Of glass stoves, geez, gas stoves, dude. If you saw this gas stove, you would be like, uh, uh, um, you'd be like, no, thank you. Toothless Paste says Bert has a spare apartment to rent. I'm sure you could work out the payment. Yeah, yeah. I bet. I'll bet. You know. I bet he'd be real flexible about it too. You know. He'd want to work it out. You know. He'd want to work it out. Oh man. I wish I could tour an apartment with a wood stove. Was there any conclusion to the laundry lady and her cousin? No, we just fucking left. Literally, we used that instance as a catalyst to be able to leave without any kind of like anything, any kind of penalty or anything like that, you know. And I was nervous because I thought we might have to take them to small claims court because the way they operated, they said that they needed 2 weeks notice. So we gave them more than 2 weeks notice. We gave them 3 weeks notice. And then they turned around and they tried to be like, actually, we need 30 days notice, so you can officially leave on May 12th is when you can leave. We let them know on April 12th, so they were like, well, the 30 days is gonna start April 12th, so May 12th is your final day. That would mean that we had to pay rent. We were ready to take these guys to court over it, and it didn't end up having to be that. Um, luckily, it didn't end up having to be that because what was I gonna say? Sorry, I'm tired. Luckily, it didn't end up having to be that because yesterday we go in after emailing, after calling, after all of this shit, trying to get in touch with these people. We decide we're gonna go in face to face and be like, "Yo, so we're not giving you rent. You understand that, right?" And that's when they told us, "It's all right. You're all set. You can just go. We ain't worried about it." You know, I'm still waiting to get a confirmation via I'm still waiting to get a confirmation via email, right? I'm not going to feel 100% safe until I have something in writing. But the fact that they're like, yeah, don't worry about it, man. It's all good is like, oh, all right, okay. All right. Fantastic. Good to know. Good to know, you know? Um, I'd use white noise or have a white noise machine. It'll make loud noises less obvious. Maybe have fans. I keep that stuff going all the time. Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe I can just scream constantly. That way, when I drop shit on the ground, I'm just like, ah. Call that red noise. Would you ever put 50,000 on black? Fucking, jeez, I still can't believe that's how season three ended. Like that was the best way that season three could have ended, and I don't think that was like a hugely calculated move by Sam or Jed or anything like that. I think it all just kind of happened the way that it did. It was just synchronicity. I think that's probably what it was to a degree. As much as people hate the unplanned pieces of the show and stuff like that. When they go bad, people hate the unplanned pieces. When it goes really really well, all of a sudden people are like fucking geniuses, dude. But um, as fucked up as season three ended up the last couple of weeks, it was super important. Or not super important, but it was very good the way that they were able to have that ending be You know. You're not a single mom. You're fine. What are you talking about? Toothless paste. Yeah. Anyway, uh, we're gonna play a quick game of AOE. No, I gotta get all the new civs. I gotta buy these new civs. What I gotta do. He's gonna have to have an inside voice the whole time. Well, I mean, I don't like the echo is part of the issue. I really don't like the echo. So like when I do have a permanent setup, there's a chance that I might put and this probably won't even be the corner that I'm in. I'm probably gonna move it across my room into another corner, but I'm gonna put I might put foam on the sides of the walls so that hopefully it'll eat up specifically some of the echo that bounces off of everything that's in front of me. There's still going to be a little bit of echo that you're going to hear because it's not like there's fucking foam everywhere in my room, but you get the idea. You get the idea. You get it by now. You get it by now. AOE equals ass only entry. Exactly. That's why me and Bert like it so much. Oh fuck, playing against the Persians. That means elephants and potentially gunpowder. The foam will do nothing. We'll see. At the very least, it'll give it a look. It's like I said, not that I mind this look right here. I don't think that's the worst look. Just the blank background. I do kind of dig it a little bit. Can you dig it? And ruin the renter's paint job. Yeah, fuck their paint job. They're gonna have to, like, I'm pretty sure that's a law in Massachusetts. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure in Mass you have to repaint the walls every time you go to rent. You have to repaint the walls, and you also have to make sure the plugs work. Literally half of the plugs in our place did not work, and one of the plugs was making me nervous because I would plug it in and you would hear a humming noise, and I'd unplug it and there would be sparks. Upon unplugging it, there would be a spark as you're like pulling it away, and it was just like, holy fuck, like what is happening here? Luckily, the landlady was uh, well, luckily she was responsible and prompt about it, you know. So I appreciate that. Do you still talk with Taylor? You mean PKA Taylor? Yeah, of course. We haven't talked in a little bit under a week because he's been playing the Oblivion remaster. We were supposed to stream on Wednesday, but I just had too much shit going on and I was too tired. It just did not work out, you know. But yeah, fucking, me and Taylor still talk. We're gonna play AOE soon. Like Taylor and his buddies are the only people that I play online games with. Like everybody else in my life either doesn't game or they just don't have a schedule. They just don't have a schedule that lines up so that they can like play video games with me and stuff like that. It's supposed to burn. That's how you know it's working. It's just um like mouthwash. Catholic Game Dev says, "You ever talk to Ryan Katz or Rivera? Feel like you'd get along?" Yeah, I had him and Dan from Hallowed, the band that Ryan is also in. I had them on this channel a little over a year ago for what was kind of sort of like an Easter special of mine. You should definitely check that out. Ryan's a really cool guy. I've met him multiple times. Um, I obviously like I appreciate him as a Catholic who knows a lot more than I do. He's a much better Catholic than I am. Same thing with Dan. I love those guys. They're really cool, and I learn a lot from them every time I speak to them. Um, really cool guys though. Really cool guys. Can't wait to can't wait to see or talk to them again. Oh, you're right. I can't read. I actually do need glasses. They're just general reading glasses though. It's not like I have like some weird bullshit. There's no like astigmatism or anything like that. It's just oh, all right. Set that way. And then you guys get your asses back there because you need to drive the deer. It also doesn't help that I'm as tired as I am too. I am like when I tell you guys I'm fucked up, I'm fucked up. It wasn't even just the move that I was dealing with this week. I actually my car is in the shop. I guess there was a defective piece of my car that um there was a defective part in my car that didn't shit the bed until this week. And when it shit the bed, it also destroyed my engine. So, as this was part of a recall, not only did they have to replace the part that was covered under the recall, but since the engine damage was due to that recalled part, they had to also, yes, they had to also replace my engine. So I'm getting a new engine for free from uh, from the dealership, which is like I'm fucking ecstatic about that. But that was an extremely, extremely stressful however long. That was man, it's just bullshit after bullshit after bullshit with me. And there we go. Good. I got off lucky. I got off lucky. I'll say that much. Because it could have been a lot worse than it was. That is for sure. There he is. I'm sorry, Scott. Your car is. Oh, I'm sorry, Scott. Your car is gonna suck forever now. Lemon law is incoming. What does a lemon laws have to do with my car sucking forever? I thought lemon laws were good for your car. Look, Ecuador asks about the lemon party law. I just had freeze dried Skittles for the first time. These are insane. Really? Are they that good? Did you have like your own little freeze dry thing, or was it like one? Ooh, that's pretty close. Oh, I'm pretty sure I beat this guy before. Panchito Rene. Yeah, I'm curious about freeze dried stuff. You know, I wouldn't mind giving it I wouldn't mind giving it a shot. I have a Brazilian song stuck in my head. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go bang bang here and there. Oh yeah, I'm in crazy good shape in terms of getting to castle quickly. I'm gonna get there so quick. I'm not even gonna be able to have All right, so there we go. All right, six. So I'm getting a castle. I'm on my way up to castle. Hopefully I'll be able to actually make a castle on the sooner side because I want to hit that early aggression as quick as possible. Hell yeah. 2, 3, 4. All right. So I have one more deer to push. Ah, damn it. It's gonna fucking. Ah, son of a bitch. It's gonna be that way, huh? Ah, man. I gotta leave it alone. The term of protection for your new or leased vehicle is 1 year or 15,000 miles from the date of delivery, whichever comes first. In this time period, uh, the following must be true for your car to qualify. Oh, so what are they making the lemon laws lesser than they used to be? There's what's there less protection or something like that. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, damn it. Yeah, I'm probably fucked. This is probably not a good sign for me. What I need to do right away is try my best to get as many. First off, there. All right, come on. So yeah, in that case, I just have to try my best to boom. Can't worry about the early aggression as much. Are you fucking kidding me? Really? All right, well, go fuck yourself then, bitch ass. No, I want it there. Well, actually, silly me. And then there. Bitch ass. Alright, so you get your ass over there. You get your ass over there if you can. Yeah, so I'm instead of early aggression, I need to be ready to try it, I guess. Um I need to be ready to try it, but instead of early aggression, I need to worry more about trying to boom. You know, that's gonna be my best bet. 'Where's he at? Oh, there he is. Yeah. What the hell is going on? No. Oh yeah. Well, in that case, you can go fuck yourself. Just in case. See, what I'm really worried about is those elephants. You know, if I see his score jump, then I know he's probably got those elephants coming out the fucking cut. You know, which is not good for me. Um, yeah, I think we're good on that front. Should also build another one of these somewhere. I don't know where exactly. I'm gonna build it here. So, so do you ever speak to Shinji? I haven't spoken to Shinji in a long time. I think he's busy with his life and I'm busy with mine. I do miss him though. When he was in Boston, I had no clue. It would have been nice if he hit me up, but he said that by the time he realized it was already too late. Which is, it's all good. It is what it is. It would have been nice to hang with him once though. Did oh, yep. Build a castle over on this side. Just because, why not? Something back there. What's going on? Oh, yeah, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that, bitch ass motherfucker. You gotta get your ass over there. You, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I'm gonna start pushing them in a second. You know, I'll push them in castle, just to try and keep them from getting to imp. Um, okay, well, yeah, this guy's a dummy. See, these woad raiders are really tough to deal with when they end up inside your base. You know, he has no clue that I have something over here. He's fucked. Unless he hits me with something that I am completely and totally like taken off guard. You know, fucking it. Good fucking luck. Good luck with that one. Um, I don't even have to worry about this. I just blast right in, and I guarantee you he quits. Your ass over there. Did I have? Oh no. Yep. Oh. Oh, and you see, that's what I was talking about. That's kind of what I was talking about. But I'm not that worried about it. I'll be honest with you, because I think I can stand up just enough resistance to this thing. I think I can stand up just enough resistance that it's not going to matter. Because I mean, look, these guys are unupgraded. These guys don't have fucking shit going on. I'm about to stand up some. Oh, you see, now those guys are upgraded, so that is a little bit nerve wracking, but it is what it is. Who cares? Yeah, war elephant. Yeah, it's like I said, I really ain't even that worried. I'm gonna just fucking take out as many of those guys as I can. Oh, yeah, that's not very good. That's alright though, because as long as I have them. Yep. Definitely not fun. Definitely not fun, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go ahead. Then I think I will go here and then there. Yeah, like what are these guys gonna do? Oh, no, you guys. Get your asses over here. Easy peasy. Yeah, it's like I said, I kind of left this open to be attacked, not on purpose, but just because I was being lazy on the flank. I was just that unconcerned with this right here, considering that I had this right here, and I knew that I was going to be better off in Castle Age than he was. I'm so good at Castle Age now that at the current level that I'm at, like as long as I hit Castle, I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to win, barring him outworking me. In which case, that usually means he's probably a level or two above me. Excuse me. Um, but yeah, that wasn't a bad game. That wasn't a bad game. This game is full time job, love it or hate it, or any horror game. Seeing him want to through throw fists with his screen is fucking funny. Yeah, yeah. Excuse me. Yeah. I don't have the fear reactions other people do. My fear reaction is to get ready to fight. So I'm like, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck. It's just I feel safe naturally just in here, you know. Looking through the binoculars. Speaking wrong one. Speaking of looking through binoculars, I just remembered something. Whoops, wrong one. Um, Sorry, I'm looking for something. Un momento. Un momento. What the hell is it? Somebody told me they wanted to take a look at something. Oh yeah. Somebody told me Letty did some Muay Thai today. I want to take a look at it again. I already looked at it a little bit earlier. You know. Oh, I'm just realizing fucking my headphones were never unmuted. Silly me. Sorry about that. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this. So this is Letty. I don't know who the hell this is supposed to be though. It's it's so funny to see Letty like that. We call this looking through the binoculars, right? In Muay Thai, they have a different way of holding their hands. They tend to hold their hands out here, right? There's reasons for that, right? In Dutch kickboxing, they tend to be, it's kind of similar, but they tend to be more here. Boxing, they can sometimes be here, but you'll see them hold, a high guard as needed, right? There's just something so funny about seeing Letty with the gloves on, and it's like the uncoordinated high guard, the uncoordinated, like, I don't know, I'm just doing what they told me to do kind of high guard. It's just there's something almost like adorable about it. You see, and then there's this girl right here who, like, it's like Letty is like, I don't know, I'm just doing what they told me. This girl right here is like, I don't even know what they told me. you know, I saw in movies you're supposed to keep your hands up, so I guess I got to keep my hands here. It's like you're just gonna get bopped with your hands down that low. Some people can get away with that because they know what they're doing, but this chick obviously does not know what she's doing. Is I heard Letty was around like Asia. She was like traveling around Asia or something like that. I don't know. I mean, she's obviously in Thailand, but what I mean is I don't know where this chick is from, you know. Um but yeah, she doesn't look American. She's got that look in her eyes. It's just like not an American look. But anyway. Oh man. Ooh, that was. That's a broken hand, and that's a broken arm. Yeah, some people are just so afraid of conflict that like when they decide they're gonna end up in a situation like that, they're like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want. You know, and they're girls, so it's obviously a little more forgivable. You know, it's obviously a little bit more forgivable, obviously, right? But it's crazy because like I teach a gym full of hobbyists, right? There's only one guy in my gym who fights. And I have to take him to other places to get sparring and things like that so that he can experience what that environment is like, right? But when it comes to everybody else in my gym, they're all hobbyists. So we go real fucking light, real easy. Everybody's got work tomorrow. It's not like we're getting ready for the fucking championship fight or anything like that. That's not how it's working. So like every now and again, instead of going like 30% in the sparring, somebody kicks it up to a whopping 40%. Oh, trying to kill each other here. And what happens is someone bops somebody else and they're like, oh, sorry. And it's like, what do you think we're doing here? You know, it's it's crazy the amount of people who sign up to fight and then when they have to fight, they're like, what the fuck? What do you mean? You know? And that's kind of the situation here where it's like I think what it is this chick's probably a streamer, Letty's a streamer. They were like, "Oh, we're in Thailand. What do people do in Thailand besides bang ladyboys?" Well, they do Muay Thai. So when we're done banging the ladyboys, why don't we go and you know, we can we can do some Muay Thai, right? Um like so it's no big deal, but it's just it's always a little funny to see that kind of thing happen, you know. But overall, like let's watch it again. So that wasn't like the worst jab cross from Letty that I've ever seen. You know, the kick wasn't terrible either. That was oh, you don't want to do that. We So I mean that wasn't that bad from Letty, you know. Like she didn't make certain mistakes that a lot of people make when they first start out. Like when people first start out, like I said, you know, they let the hands go down. Um, when they throw their jab cross, they like reach back and punch like that. She kind of was just like that for the most part. For the most part, she kind of messed up, right? What some people will do is they'll focus on their dominant hand so much that instead of going jab cross, right, with my lead hand and then my dominant hand being the cross, they'll go 1 2 like that, right? Um, oh, excuse me. She kind of did that, but it's funny because it kind of works a little bit because Letty is a lefty in the first place, which that's a tactic that people will use is they'll take that front leg, they'll step to the outside of the other person's front leg, and they'll lead with their cross. So it's funny how she fucked up, but she also didn't do the worst thing that she could have done ever. I wanna see it again to make sure of something else, right? One thing that she did there is when she threw a punch, she dropped her hand down here. I'll give her credit though. She didn't drop it down as low as a lot of people do. There's people like I said, I teach hobbyists, okay? And those hobbyists, they are only dedicating 1 to 2 hours per week of they're only dedicating 1 to 2 hours per week towards Muay Thai. This is just a fun little thing they do in their spare time. So because of that, you'll have dudes who've been training for a year and they're still fucking they're still dropping their hand down here like this, or they throw a jab cross and they're like jab cross, no turn on the cross. They drop the hand all the way down here and then come up for the hook, right? Like, you'll have people who do that because no matter how much you get on their ass to not do that shit, they're only here 1 or 2 hours per week and they're not training at all outside of that. So that's not nearly enough time to develop a new habit. They said there's no such thing as bad students, only bad teachers. Completely and totally wrong. Completely and totally wrong. In fact, I won't say there's no such thing as a bad teacher. There's plenty of bad teachers out there, but 9 times out of 10, if you're not getting something as a student, it's because of something it's because of you most of the time. If we're just being honest here, right? I personally have never had a coach that I couldn't understand and do what they are asking me to do. Even if I didn't like what they were asking me to do, I could at least do it, you know? But like that's a whole other conversation we're getting into. That's my coaching frustration coming out. Um, like Letty, she doesn't drop her hands all the way down here when she throws her punches, which is better. It's still not good that she drops it down to here, but at the very least, it's still kind of up. She has less space she has to worry about. So that's good. The kick was interesting. So the kick, it looks like she stepped potentially to a flat foot. I'm not 100% sure. I can't see the foot necessarily, but there was no pivot on the leg. Which the pivot on the leg that you need for a kick can be a little, it can be a little bit tough to get. And the kick she threw, I liked how she landed with her leg. Oh yeah, she didn't pivot at all. You can see her knee right here facing this way and then her leg coming up and landing on the hip, like directly on the hip. That is that hurts to look at. As somebody with a bad knee, that hurts to look at. Also, the faces people make are always funny. But anyway, um yeah, I mean, one issue that a lot of people do, right? Like if this is my foot, right? One issue that a lot of people have is when they start throwing kicks, they land with like the side of their foot, right? It's on it's I can't show you my I got boots, right? So um here's a boot, all right? People, when they start throwing kicks, they'll literally try and land like this. You don't want to land like that. You want to land like this, and not with the instep. You don't want to land here. You want to land from here up, okay? Where the shin starts after the ankle is the way that you want to land. She did a pretty good job of that here from the look of it, so good for her on there. But like I said, I keep looking at this and I'm like, oh fuck, oh, damn, fuck. But yeah. In addition to that, she does kind of like a karate style kick, which is understandable because again, it is tough to get a Thai kick down the first time you try it. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. The difference between a Thai style kick and a karate style kick is if I was trying to karate chop you, right? This is a good example. I could either go like that, right? Or I could like that. The karate chop that I did the first time, that's a karate kick. It's very bang, snap out, and then pull back. A Thai kick is very like just throwing a limp appendage at the person, right? So yeah, I mean overall, that's not too bad. That's not too bad, you know. Good for her. Good for her for giving it a shot. I mean, if you're in Thailand, you might as well try some Muay Thai. Fucking why not? You're not gonna find better Muay Thai out there than in Thailand. That's it's kind of where it comes from. Kind of where it comes from there. I'm wondering what gym that is. I'm wondering what gym that is. I'm curious. I don't think it actually says Koh Samui, Thailand. Koh Samui, Thailand. I'm curious where Koh Samui is. Koh Sam, Koh Samui, Koh Samui, Koh Samui. Um, oh, it's an island off the east coast of Thailand. Um, hmm. Yeah, so they're like in the south, basically. Basically, they're like in the south of Thailand. Um, yeah, I mean, there's tons of there's tons of Muay Thai gyms. There's like so many fucking tons of Muay Thai gyms. In every part of Muay Thai, every part of Thailand. So I don't think I'm gonna know which gym that is. You have some gyms that are a little bit friendlier to Farang, which is their word for foreigner. It's not like it's not like a slur or anything like that. That's just what they call it. They pronounce it like Falang or some shit like that. But Falang, um, and yeah, I mean, like there's probably a pretty friendly gym to foreigners and things like that. Um, What Scott's not telling you is he has a map up on his wall of Asia and is putting little pins with pieces of rope tied between them on each spot he hears Letty went to. Dude, I told you that in confidence. Hi, Ecuador. What the fuck? Um, she, she's training to beat your ass. Oh man, Joshua Teeps, coach. What are your thoughts on Steve's lava chicken? What's Steve's lava chicken? Also, Joshua Teeps. I don't know if that's a play on words, but funny thing to those who don't know, the word teep is actually a Thai word. It means foot jab, and it's a type of kick you throw in Muay Thai. Imagine Letty gets buff and chokes out Scott between her thighs, the final nail in the coffin. Fucking oh man, that'd be funny. Um, she's on Roshi's island. Man, I gotta trim my beard, man. I gotta get a haircut and I gotta trim my beard. I meant to trim my beard a lot earlier than I did, but I just never got around to it. Um, so what you're saying is you could defeat Letty in mutual combat. Got it, dude. I didn't even think that needed to be said. Um, you selling those boots at some point, Scott? Might need those for research later. Nah, I'm saving them for if I end up on blood games. You know, hopefully they'll give me a call. Scott's watching this like he's Letty's estranged father, being like, "That's my little girl. I taught her everything she knows." The from what I'm told, there were people out there who were really mad when that video of me teaching Letty how to do a triangle choke resurfaced. I don't know what the I don't know what the general attitude towards me is nowadays, but there was a point where when me and Letty were like beefing, a lot of her simps were like, dude, what the fuck him, dude, he's a predator," because I'm teaching her how to choke somebody. The choke just happens to be a triangle choke. It's a choke with her legs, and because I happen to be in between her legs, they're like, "Dude, he's fucking trying to, dude, he's trying to be a predator toward. He was trying to be a predator towards Letty there. He was trying to be a sex pest to Letty. Is what it is. That's what it was." Oh man. Um, I used to teach skateboarding, and you're right. Some kids just don't learn, says Catholic Game Dev. Yes, some people just don't learn, and it's not because they couldn't, it's because they don't want to. Because when they leave, they don't bother practicing. And hey, that's all well and good. But it's frustrating as fuck when somebody comes in and expects to be getting better every single day and they can't even put in an hour's worth of effort. Because the thing you have to understand is that nobody has one full hour of work in them. There's always going to be a minute or two of, "Oh, I'm going to grab some water. Oh, I'm going to put this thing on. Oh, I have to go to the bathroom real quick. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to do the other thing. I got to class late today. Oops. I got to leave class early today. Oops." There's always going to be some kind of shit like that. Even the most serious person, like it's not going to be like they get to the gym, 5 p.m. hits, and then they nonstop work for 1 whole hour. There's always going to be like a moment of like getting water, shooting the shit with people during the water break. There's always going to be something like that, you know? Unless you're like absolutely positively like, no, I'm here to train, don't fucking talk to me, which there's a lot of people who are like that. I'm kind of like that myself. I'm not really a social guy. It's not that I don't like people, it's that I just don't have a social battery like that. And when I'm training, I'm like, nah, I'm here to train. I want to fucking learn something, dude, you know? Um I get into a flow state when I train where, you know, it just feels good. It just feels good the whole time. But like the point that I'm trying to make is like these people, they only come to class for an hour or two a week, and even then it's not like it's a full hour that they're working. There's plenty of goof off time and stuff like that. And they expect to get better. They expect, not only do they expect you to help them get better, they expect you to be putting in that much effort for them every time, you know? And then you have people who have shitty attitudes. The kinds of people who, when you're like, hey man, don't drop your hook down when you throw it. Make sure it's nice and compact. This is how you throw your hook. And they kind of give you a look like, they kind of give you that look, or they're like, yeah, all right, or like some other bullshit like that, you know? They they pull some stupid ass shit like that. And it's like, no, I'm done helping you now. You're gonna continue coming, you're gonna pay me money. I'm not gonna help your ass. You can keep on giving me the money. I'm not gonna turn you away. Money's money, as long as it's green. You know, don't be giving me some of that commie bullshit they have up north in fucking, you know, that British colony. Uh, excuse me. Thank you very much, Unforced Ego, for the $20. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. How's it going? I feel like it's been a minute. Um, but yeah, there's so many people out there who are like, there's so many people out there who are like just fucked up that way, where they don't put in the effort but they expect to get better, and if they don't get better then they act like it's your fault. But then also when you try and help them out, they're like, "Oh," you know. I've had that happen so many times. That's one of the reasons why this is like a taboo to say, right? And I don't mind training with women. All right, I've had some really, really good female training partners, and luckily for me, right now at my gym, all of the women that are there, I not only don't have problems with, but for the most part, I like all of them, right? Um, and when I say for the most part, it's not that there's some that I dislike, it's that there's just some that I don't know that well, you know. But like all the women at my gym are like cool, you know. But like this is one of the challenges with women, because women come into gyms and they have this weird double think thing where it's like, oh, you can't go easy on me just because I'm a girl. But then also when you treat them not even like the guys at the gym, when you just don't go as easy on them as you typically would, when you kick it up from like 30% to 40%, meanwhile with the guys you're going 60 to 70%, they get upset. They switch between, oh, what, you think because I'm a girl I can't hang? I'll kick your ass, buddy, to, oh my gosh, why are you trying to tool on me? Do you have this like problem with girls? Do you have this problem with girls, don't you? You just don't like girls. I think you have a problem with them. I think you think because I'm a girl you can tool on me. I think that's what it is. A lot of women come in with entitled attitudes and they expect you to just be like, oh, okay, I'm going to cater to you. I'm going to act like you're the best ever because you're a martial arts girl. You're a kickboxer girl. Who? Um, and then I'm also not going to tell you anything. I'm not going to help you, because if I try and help you, well, then you're going to take that personally. Like, I think I'm better than you. I am. I'm the coach. That's kind of why I'm the coach, is because I'm better than everybody in the class. Hello, fucking. But like, it's dealing with women in the martial arts world. On paper, people will say one thing. In reality, It is a completely and totally different thing. And you'll have dudes like, say, Ramsey Dewey or like Armchair Violence, who I guarantee would probably say something similar, where Ramsey Dewey would probably be like, "Hi, it's Ramsey Dewey here from Shanghai, China. Today I saw a video by Scott Sullivan, MMA, where he was talking about how women in martial arts are entitled and they have attitudes. And well, I say to you, Mr. Sullivan, that maybe you are the problem. That's right, you are the problem." My Ramsey Dewey impression is like really good, and it's because we both have we both have deep voices, and we have fucking cadences that they're not similar, but like the way our cadences are when we're making a video, it's easy for me to emulate him. But like you have dudes who like they're internet martial arts guys who I respect the fuck out of. I love Armchair Historian. I love Ramsey Dewey. I love a lot of these guys who are like in the, I guess you could say, mainstream YouTube martial arts community and things like that. Like the Icy Mikes, well, the Ramsey Deweys, the Armchair Violences, the Jesse N Camps, like those guys. I don't mind them. I like them. They're entertaining. I like watching their stuff, and they seem like they're cool guys. But that is one thing where it's like, you guys are fucking lying, and you know it. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. You fucking do. You know exactly what I'm fucking saying. You've dealt with it. You are dealing with it. You are going to continue to deal with it. A woman who comes in and is like, "I'm gonna kick your ass, girl power," and then when you don't let her beat the fuck out of you, not even you beat the fuck out of her. You just don't let her land every single punch on you. You like evade. You throw like a light jab to keep her from being able to just walk right into her range and start trying to fire away at your body. You throw a nice, light, easy, slow teep to try and push her away just a little bit. When you do that, all of a sudden it's, "Why are you going so hard? Don't you know I'm a girl?" Or, I think you just have a hang up about girls. I think you just don't like girls. You know that? I think you hate women." They have all dealt with it. They are going to deal with it, and they will continue to deal with it in the future, because that's just how it is, you know. So it's really hard as a, when you have a class that is dedicated to being good at kickboxing or Muay Thai, as opposed to just like a cardio kickboxing class where you're not that worried about being like hands up here at all times. You don't care if they're kind of thrown from down here. It's whatever. We're all just here to have fun, you know, relieve a little bit of stress. And it's just going to add to the stress if I'm like, hands up, you know. It's one thing in a class like that. Obviously, it doesn't matter. But when it's like the serious, like, hey, we're learning how to fight. If you don't keep your hands up, you're gonna get hit. If you don't check the kick, you're gonna take it off your high, your high. What the hell? You're gonna take it off your thigh. I almost said hip and thigh at the same time. Like, you will get touched. You will get touched up a little bit in this class. When you have a lot of women who go into those classes, they go into there with a chip on their shoulder, because and this is something too. Like, a lot of women don't get into martial arts because they're like, wow, I really enjoy this. I want it. I want to do this because I enjoy it. They get into martial arts because they have a chip on their shoulder, because when they were a teenager, like, fucking, there was a boyfriend of theirs that was like, shut up, and they never got over it, and now they have a hang up against men, and they're like, I want to be able to beat up men. Or, God forbid, this happens a lot, and it's extremely unfortunate, you know. And this is a situation where, like, as much as I'm shitting on women for this, in this case, it's like actually sad, and I wish it wasn't the case, but you do have women who were sexually assaulted. They were raped, you know, and that's their way of trying to ensure in their own minds that it will not happen again. Which, if that's the case, then more power to you. You, like, I totally understand. I think it's a very good way to try and make sure that it's never going to happen again, right? But you also have to go in there with an empty cup. You can't go in there thinking, I'm going to show my rapist, and then when you're fucking when you're sparring with some guy who is your friend and wants to help you, you project your rapist onto him and you start like, you know, like you can't be doing that kind of thing. You know, it's fucked up, man. Oh, excuse me. But there's a lot of women who are like that, you know. There's a lot of women who are hobbyists that are just like, yeah, let's try and fuck everybody up, you know. Are the fat women better than the skinny women who join your class? Um, I mean, everybody has positives and negatives, and even down to like whether somebody's overweight or skinny. It's kind of tough, you know. Oh man, Scott, why can't you just let women beat you into submission? What's your fucking problem, dude? Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Here's the other thing about it that is so annoying. These women have these hang-ups about men that they then project onto men instead of them realizing that they hate men and they're trying their best to tool on every man around them as this weird superiority play, as like a power move or something like that. They, like I said, they project it onto men so that whenever a man is like, "Whoa, she's trying to take my head off." I mean, I don't want to get hit in the head that hard, even if it is someone her size. I'm gonna step out of the way. I'm gonna throw a teep. I'm gonna pump my jab so that she can't just walk in and hit me like that. They assume, oh, he must hate women, you know. But then the times where you do let them get a shot off on you, it's never just like, bang, oh, got you, right? Which is what you do, right? You're sitting here, you're sparring with someone, jab cross, bang, bang, hit him. Oh, all right, cool. You touch gloves, right? Someone hits you, maybe they throw a jab cross, you parry, bridge, bang, they catch you with the hook. Oh man, that was a good one. Glove touch. You kind of let them know, hey, that was a good one. That would have put me on my ass probably. Let's move on from it. Good job. You won that round. You won that moment. Let's start a new one. That's kind of the way sparring goes. Good faith sparring. But what happens with a lot of women is like they sit here and they like try and hit you with more fucking attitude than they should be trying to hit you. And when they do, they kind of give you this wry little grin like and it's like it's just so disgusting, you know. It's such a gross thing, you know. And if you say something about it, well, you're putting yourself in jeopardy in some way, shape, or form, right? At best, someone's going to be like, oh, what do you got, something against women, right? At worst, if you're like a Ramsey Dewey type guy where you own your own gym, well, I don't think Ramsey owns his own gym. I don't even think Ramsey trains anymore. I think he said he fucked up his knee during the Ultimate Self-Defense Challenge. um but if you're in a situation where that's what you do, you train people for a living, it's hard for you to talk about this kind of thing because it's a situation where like if a woman hears about it, they'll be like, "Oh, what? You have a hang up against women? What, you have something against women?" And it's like, "No, I have something against assholes." And a lot of women who come into gyms tend to be assholes. Not all of them. I'm not even saying most of them. There's just a lot of women who come into gyms with these same archetypical behaviors and attitudes that make it really really hard to feel comfortable and to feel like it's a pleasant thing when you see a woman walk through the door of your gym, a woman that you don't know, you know. It's like you see them and you're just like, oh great, I hope they're not one of the fucking weirdos, you know. um I also think that like I think that's part of the reason why there's more female sociopaths than male sociopaths. And the thing is, people will say, actually, no, the American Psychological Butthole Association says that sociopathy is more common in men. Is it more common in men, or is it just more noticeable in men? Because men's baseline is not sociopathy. Meanwhile, women's baselines are naturally more in that dark triad sort of area with that weird like cunningness, that weird self-obsession, the delusions of grandeur and all this other stuff. Like Women are taught to be sociopaths. Women are taught to be narcissists nowadays. And like I said, I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm not even saying it's a majority. I'm just saying there's a lot of women out there that are taught to be this way. And because of that, I genuinely believe that there are more female sociopaths, psychopaths, people with ASPD or whatever you want to call it, right? There's more of them. It's just that it's more noticeable in men right out the gate, because as men we're supposed to be controlled, and we're meant to be non-compulsive, not non-compulsive, non-impulsive, right? um we're supposed to not be like so self-centered in such an obvious way, you know. We're not supposed to be so vindictive and conniving. We're not supposed to be cunning in the way that we literally expect women to be. Everybody understands that that's just the way women are, you know. um so I think it's a bias towards I think it's a bias towards something that is a little less camouflaged as opposed to the thing that is a little bit more camouflaged, you know. Um, you ever see the video of the soccer mom who signed up for an MMA fight and got KO'd in 30 seconds? That was disgusting, you know. The title is Elima McFarlane versus Katie Castro, who was 0-3, XFS Hurricane, January 17th, 2015. That is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, that's the fight game. You know, that's the fight game for you, you know. And this is something that I've talked about plenty of times. I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this, right? Uh, so yeah, we'll go ahead. This is, you know, this was a pretty well known thing. This is in fact, I see this every few years, you know. So we'll go ahead. So yeah, I mean, everybody involved in this is a piece of shit, and this is part of the reason why I decided I wanted to get out of the fight game. Um, in the way that I used to be. It's not that I never want to fight again. I do want to fight again, but it's not my number one priority, and I do not have the will to be like, let's string together a fucking career, dude. It really does not matter to me anymore. And again, it's situations like this that are the cause of that. Um, this is a woman who should not have been fighting in general against a woman who has been training and has had multiple fights. Even if she's 0-3, it's less about the record and more about the fact that this woman has, meaning Katie Castro over here, this chick right here, has been in more fights than this woman has been in. And not just more fights, but this woman who has trained more than this one here has been in fights in general, while here the soccer mom, Ilima, I think her name is, you know, she the bottom line is this was the mismatch of the century, right? This was such a horrible mismatch, and the fact that it was allowed to happen is absolutely positively disgusting. I'm willing to bet that this promotion is not around anymore, and it wouldn't surprise me to find out that this was their last show. I mean, look at how empty these guys are, right? But the reason I wanted to get out of the fight game is upon realizing that this is the fight game manifest. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this is democracy manifest. This is the fight game manifest. It's people who are not really as good as they seem, fighting people who are even worse than they are, as a means to try and pad their record or use the person who is not as good as they even are as a stepping stone to another opportunity. It's all fake. It's all smoke and mirrors. There's all a piece of it that is made in some kind of shady backroom deal or some kind of weird smooth talking. Hey, just get in there and have a little bit of fun. Haha. It's an experience. It's a story you can tell somebody. Ha ha ha. There's always some kind of fucking asshole who is trying to pull some kind of move to make money off of you, and you're either A, going to get none of the money, or B, you're not even going to get a fraction of the money from that guy. All you're going to get is brain damage and embarrassed on the internet, you know? And I don't want to be in a situation like that. If I opened up a gym and I started training guys and they wanted to fight, then yeah, sure, you can fight. I have no problem with that. Hell, if they wanted to make a career out of it, yeah, I'd try my best to help them out with that. But me personally, knowing the situation that I'm in with my training situation, if you want to call it that, and the time that I have and the energy that I have, as well as the temperament that I have, I don't want to be involved in something that is so fake. I don't want to be involved in something where you have dudes like Habib Nurmagomedov, who his first like 10 to 15 fights were against goat farmers, and people are trying to call him the greatest of all time. You know, like that type of shit. Or situations just in general, you know, Sean O'Malley, easy easy path to the top, you know. There's so many guys that they have free rides, basically, like practically free rides, because they just take fights that are essentially the equivalent of the mistake they made here is that they made it a little bit too obvious. They made it just a little bit too obvious that the fix was in from the get-go. They made it a little too obvious who the A side was, and a little bit too obvious who the B side was. And because of that, well, here it is. You know, I'm curious about Katie Castro, right? Let's see. Let's see. No. Seems like I was wrong. This is Katie Castro. I guess this is Katie Castro. I am incredibly confused. I am I'm this just makes it even worse. This just makes it even worse. Katie Castro, I guess this is Katie Castro. And this chick right here is Ilima McFarlane, and apparently Ilima McFarlane has actually had a career, 13-3. You know, um, who'd she fight, right? Like Liz Carmouche. Okay, that's someone who had a little bit of a name at one point. Jessica I, but that's a grappling match. That's a grappling match. Velasquez looks familiar. Could be wrong. Yeah, I don't really know about any of these women, but like that's such a weird fucking thing. Like they let this woman, like this is how crazy it is. This is how fucking insane it is. This is how insane it is that I saw 0-0 and 0-3, and I was like, oh, this must be the 0-3 fighter, because I mean, she at least trains, and she has definitely had a fight or two before. This woman right here does not train, and it looks like she's never fought before. But no, But no, she is 0-3. Technically, she's 0-2 in this video until the fight ends. Then she ends up 0-3. Why they let her fight once is ridiculous. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't figure it out. But allowing her to fight twice before that. I'm curious about this chick, right? 2-1 2-1-1. She had 4 fights and she's got her picture up on Tapology because, that's what happens when you're a female MMA fighter is you're like, oh, I'm totally gonna, you have one fight and all of a sudden you're fucking you have one fight and all of a sudden a a sorry, I'm tired. You're getting a photo shoot. That's what happens with female MMA fighters. They end up they have, oh shit, this chick's from my region. Um you have one fight with a fucking geez, she had quite a few canceled bouts here. Quite a few canceled bouts. I'm curious about this Tyra Parker chick. Okay. Jeez, I'm like going down the rabbit hole right now. Fucking split decision. That just made it so much crazier. The fact that this chick right here is actually Katie Castro and she was the 0-3 chick in this video. I had no clue that was like the actual backstory of this. The fact that this woman was allowed to fight was absolutely positively disgusting, and that's the exact reason why I wanted to get out of the fight game because there's no real honor. Um, there isn't even honor among thieves. It really just comes down to who you can try and take advantage of. And it comes from the promoters taking advantage of the fighters. The fighters are also trying to take advantage of each other. Um, and everybody's always trying to use somebody else to build off of. And it's just a disgusting thing. This chick was allowed to fight 3 times, probably because these two were friendly with the promotion to some degree. I'm curious about this Laura Salazar chick, fucking 4-1, not really much of a career, and of course she's got this thing up because, like I said, you're an MMA girl, you've had one fight, that means you're gonna get a photo shoot. Teehee. Um, it's fucking this is it's dumb as hell. Regardless, like the fight game is full of people who are just trying their best to take, and take. On one hand, you can't really blame people because at the end of the day, fighting's scary. It is the most dangerous sport. Statistically, people will say, "Oh, well, actually, technically, this sport and that sport's more dangerous," but um, more people play football than box. You know, um, like you are risking your life in the most direct way whenever you get into a cage or a ring like that. um and brain damage is not fun, so you might as well try and get as much out of the sport as you can. But also, most people don't get into the sport because they're like, haha, I want to fight people that are 0-3 soccer moms. Most people are not getting into the sport so that they can have a fight with somebody like this. Most people are getting into the sport because they're like, I want to be a warrior. I want to be a fighter. I saw Rocky and I felt this swelling in my chest. I thought it was a heart attack, but no, it was just my will to fight. And I'm going to be a fighter now. That's what most people get into the fight game for. And to get into the fight game because you want to be Mr. Fighter, to then turn around and be like, yeah, so I'm fighting a woman who's 0-3 and she doesn't even train. Literally, she's fighting out of California is where she trains out of, just California. I'm curious about this fucking X XFS fight series. Um yeah, 2015. 2015 was their last. Excuse me. I am curious about that. XFS Hurricane Pro, XFS Tornado, XFS Cerebral. This is back when people were naming their cards and shit like that. So that was January 17th, 2015. Their last one was September 19th, 2015. So they lasted almost an entire year after that. That is fucking bonkers. That is bonkers. Yeah, yeah. Card every 2 months. Man. But yeah, I gotta get going, guys. I gotta get to bed. I'm tired as fuck, and I gotta be up early tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. Thank you for popping in. Hopefully I'm gonna have everything set up a little bit better so that when we do Oblivion Sunday, everything's gonna turn out right. I'm thinking I'll probably download the Oblivion remake, the Oblivion remaster, and we'll pick up where we left off in the Oblivion remaster as opposed to just the Oblivion, right? The original Oblivion game. We might as well. We might as well. You know, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. But I will talk to you guys later. All right, and peace out.